कोण प्रेझेंट कोण आहे? Okay, fine. So let's okay. So our topic is to project closeout. In that one, learn about the commissioning one. Why? What is the objective of the commissioning one? Which is the team in the commissioning one, and how to do the commissioning in either it is a process industry or any project. Okay. Now the reasons behind what we call the reasons to kill a project. When we talk about the kill, it means the project is not successful. What is the reason? Because when you are become a leader, a project manager, not only you have to think about the positive but about some negative part too, because what is the reason behind it? Just like failure is okay, failure is the one of the step of success. Every time you might be learn this thought that failure, you can fail, then only you can achieve something. Okay, it is not every time you will get a success of it. But you need to learn something from that failure. If you learn from the failure, then only you will get a success. Otherwise continuously the failures are occur. Okay, so here we are we talk about why there is reasons to project get fail. What is the reason behind it? So one by one we will look about it. So one is when the project has formally ended. So that is the one thing. Obviously in that one we can say it is a positive or negative part of it. But yes, it can be ended if we see that the project is okay and now we need to end it. That is the one case. Second case is what? When you have deliver 80% of the project. Now that is one of the part of the project. Third is the when it is obvious that project will not deliver against the original business case. Okay. So when we end the project, when the project get killed, so one is the formally ended. Okay, we can say that the project is success or it is unsuccess, depend on. But we need to end it. Another part is 80% project is completed. We cannot say it is 100%, and that time also there is some difficulties that have, and because of that one only the 80% is completed. Okay, forget about these 2 points, but you have to concentrate on the third point. What is that? When it is obvious that the project will not deliver the against the original business case. So whatever we plan in the planning section, that we have to make this is the quality of the project, this is the time requirement of the project, or this is the budget of the project, and all these things are match up and you are execute that plan, then we call it as a success. Otherwise what happened? Just because it is not fulfill the customer's need, it is not fulfill the organizational need, then we can say that project is something unfinished. The another point is that when the project is so over budget, why we are stop the project? It is what? Over budget. Because initially, if you say there is a 1 crore is the requirement, that is the budget of any project, and let's okay, it is from 1 crore, it might be 1 crore and 20 lakh is okay for that one. But if it is 1 crore and 50 or 2 crores or double the budget, then it is very difficult to achieve that project or to achieve that the end point of that budget. It means to success of it. Why? Because the over budgeting is there. Just I would like to give the example that many government projects are over budgeting. The reason behind is what? Just because of the time scheduling, whatever the time schedule is given in a planning, as per that one it is not fulfilled. Just like you have the project of the statue and the some memoriam, some of Shivaji Maharaj in the sea. So that is the over budget already, that project, and again the time is much more and it is very difficult for them to complete that part. And because of that one, what happened? There is a over budgeting takes place. Even many highways, many dams of the government projects, they are having the over budgeting. Why they are over budgeting? Just because the time scheduling they are not followed. And as if they are planning that within a 3 years we need to complete that project, and if they take a 5 years, then what happened? It will have a more budgeting, because continuously the inflation takes place and it is not possible for them to complete that part. So over budgeting is the one of the reason to kill the project. Kill the project means it will not possible to get a success or the end point of the project. Next point is what the when the project does not fit with the overall strategy of the company. So that is also the one of the reasons of killing the project. Now, you might be heard in news or in the newspapers about or on the different websites. There are the number of projects are carried out in R&D. Even when you are taking the example of the Tata, when you are taking the example of the Reliance, they have the multiple number of the projects they are carried out. But all the project is not success. Okay, just like the always the Tata says that the nano car which they launched before 5 6 years ago, and that project is failure. Why that is failure? Because whatever be the things as strategy of the company, it will not give that much success or it will not fit with that one about the strategy, and because of that one, the project get failed. Okay, so that is one of the reasons of it. Second is the risk are so high that it is to continue. Now, many projects are such a way that it is not possible to continue just because of the high risk. Either it might be safety factors, it might be budgeting, or it might be the social things. So that might be the chances of the high. It is not possible to just to continue that business, continue that project. Okay, so especially when we talk about the risk one, then rather than the private sectors, it might have government sectors mostly affecting it. Okay, the government's projects most of the times they are not continue just because of the high risk of it. Okay, so these are the certain reasons that is to kill the project. Now, what is the procedure in project closing? What is the process that we need to follow in a project? One, let's one second. Okay, okay. Is it visible, PPT? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Is it visible? Okay, fine. Now, what is the procedure of project closing? Now the commissioning part is over. Then how to close a project that we will see in this PPT on this slide. The first is to contract closure procedure. First, the contract which we are given to the different contractors. So first we need to follow that steps. What are that steps? The steps are verifying the project scope, performing the formal acceptance and handover of the final products, service or a result to the customer. And the third point is making the project final documentation and presenting project performance overview to the customer. Now, when we talk about the contract closure procedure, it means the some company maybe take a contract of that project to completion of the that project of that owner or the customer. Now, what is the first is to verify the project scope. So, you have to give the verification of that project. That is the one thing. Okay. The second is to formal acceptance and handover of the final product. So you are hand overing the product and the acceptance to the customer. It is talk a formal one. Okay, because informally it is okay, they are doing work on that project and now it is almost completion, the commissioning part is over, everything is okay, or whatever with the problems that might be in a commissioning one, they are to complete that one, it get finished, and now we need to hand over the technology to the person or the customer. So it might be the product, it might be the service, or it might be the any type of the result that you have to hand over to the customers. Just like if you are taking the process industry to establish, that time the whole plant is to be hand over to the person. So by giving the training to the workers, by knowing what are the safety things and each and every manuals of that unit operation that we need to give to hand over to the customer. That is the one of the procedure in the contract one. Second, making the project final documentation and the presenting the project performance. So here, obviously from the commissioning one, we will get some that data, we generate a data, and on that basis, we know what is the performance of that project, and what are the final legal documents that we need to hand over to them. Just like initial stage, all the units or the equipments, instruments, whatever be the in that in that industry, all it is the responsible person is the contractor. Okay, though those person who took that contract, that is the responsible. If anything is happened with the workers or the person who is working in that one, then the contractor is responsible, not the owner is responsible, because all the plants that contractor is handled. But once that is over, then it is the responsibility of the customer customer, and for that one, the legal documents to be hand over to the person or the owner of the that plant. The next is the administrative closure procedure. This is the contract procedure is over. Now the administrative one. Here you have to making the sure the project is finalized across the all the processes. So when we are closing the administrative closure procedure in that one, we have to look whether each and everything is given by the contractor to the owner. So here you have to look out the finalized processes of it. Okay. The second is gathering and dismantling the lessons learned. Now, obviously, this is the one of the part of it. Whatever be the experience that we have during the project completion, that obviously we need to learn from it and just do the analysis about it. Okay, that is also one of the procedure in the administrative closure one. Then the dismissing the project organization and transferring the responsibilities and other resources. As I said in the earlier slide, it is what dismissing the project organization. Why we call dismissing? It means there is a one team which work on the project. Now what we have to do, already the project is over, everything is okay. Now we need to just dismissing that team. So the project manager maybe go again to its original position where he is working in the organization, or he may be the continue as a project plant manager in the same project. That is the case. Okay, the many times that case is happened, or maximum 70 to 80% people from the project team, they are work in continue as a project work in that same project after the process is completed. Okay, so here what is the project team, you have to dismiss the one thing, give the responsibility to the other people, because initially the project manager, his team is taking the responsibility of each and every part of the project. Now as it is a completed, now you are hand overing the responsibility, just like a safety and the maintenance, it is given to the safety and maintenance department. The electrical department take its own responsibility. The production department take its own responsibility. The financial department take its own responsibility. So what we are channeling, or we are giving the responsibility to the people who are now work continuously in that project, in that plant. Okay, we are not talking about project one. Then the arching the project information. So all the informations you need to give to your colleagues, those though who are working or they want to work to in that plant. Okay. So this is the some administrative procedure that we have to follow to for before closing the project. Obviously, if you are not giving the responsibility, then who will take the response? Who will take the responsibility of that unit, or that any instrument, or any type of the unit operation? Okay, or the whole plant. So for that one, you have to, and again the information means how to handle a particular equipments, what are the safety factors related to that one, how to do the maintenance of it. So each and everything, obviously they provide the manuals to you, but yes, it is to be hand over to them. Then the project final deliverables audit that we have to do here. What the before the project can be formally closed out, an audit must be conducted to verify that all the required scope has been satisfactorily completed. Just like I would like to give the example, just like when you enter into the first year in the first semester, and you are the part of the this institute up to the eighth semester, and every semester you will get a result, that is a pass or fail, whatever it is. and you are just accumulating all the mark sheet of from the first semester to the eighth semester. Okay, so that is the part is over, means up to the eighth semester you say that all the eighth semester you are a pass. Okay, you get a good marks, but till a one certificate that will you will get from the university, that the what we call the degree certificate. What? So that is the finalized result from you, though you have the eighth semester mark sheet with you from first semester to the eighth semester, but till a one certificate that you will get. Even the all the industries they call ask you, "Oh, do you have that degree certificate or not?" It means what? That is one what we call the verification that yes, you did that degree properly, and it is from the authority, the legal authority that will give you a one certificate, and that certificate is sufficient for, is we can say that is equals to the what, eighth semester mark sheet. Are you getting my point? Same thing is here when you are finalizing the things, when the project to be hand over to the owner, there is need a audit. After all inspection, the commissioning part, and you are following all the procedure, you are giving all the documents to them. But till a one simple audit is required, obviously for that one there is a team. You might be when you work on the process engineer, definitely will know the things about it. Okay, now you don't know some the part of it, but yes, it is a final audit is essential for it. And for what? It is to verify the all the required work has been satisfactorily completed or not. A last cross check. Okay, so what are the includes in that one? Verify the tested product meet all the specification. What you have to do in that audit? You are not check all the equipments, you are not check all the instruments, you are not check all the part of the equipment. Okay, what here you have to check? You have to check a tested product. If it is the process industry, then you test the product. Does it meet as per the specification? It means what is the quality of that product? It is. Does it is as per the specification what I required? If it is, then okay. Second, validate all the supported documents. Now, what supported documents? So, if you have a boiler, then we know that what are the norms of the boilers. Okay, and the all the related documents, the safety documents, the manual of operating it, and the inspection and the commissioning of that plant, the boiler. Okay, so all the documents is to be hand over by the contractor to you, and you need to check it whether it is given or not. So there is a big list of it, and you always checklist do the check whether it is handover to the customers or not. A third point in the audit one, it is to verify all the deliverables are available or not. So whatever but the things that is in the quotation we call the quote, not what we call the quotation, but yes, as per the agreement between the two parties, between the contractor and between the owner. So he had give all the what we call the specifications, and is it as per the specification or not? You need to check it, and then the project get closed. Uh, Then again, it is a final configuration audit, the functional and physical configuration audit. So these are the type of it. Okay, we call the functional and physical configuration audit, a final product acceptance review. Okay, so if you go through this part, and you might be get some sheet. Okay, and that sheet having certain points, you can read that points. Okay, what is comes under the final configuration, what is meant by functional and physical configuration audit. Okay, all these are the terms, but I am not going in detail about it, because here we would like, we want to just to make it is that what we call that the overlook about it, how to the project get close out. So at least you should know that these are the terms that comes under the project closeout, or this is the procedure of closing the project one. Okay, now one of the part, just like we have the audit sections, we are doing a commissioning one. Another part is here before the project closeout, it is project sign off meeting. A project sign off meeting. Now what is that project sign off meeting? So to get the final sign off from the project sponsor and any key stakeholders, or to obtain the formal project acceptance from the customers and the management. What? there is a one sign up meeting from the project sponsor and any key stakeholders. So the persons who is the, or it may be the customer. Okay. To obtain the formal project acceptance. So obviously, just like a convocation, as I gave the example of your degree. So in the convocation, what they hand over the degree certificate to you. Okay, same thing is the one of the meeting that is carried out in the project closeout. And here, what you have to do? What are the key points in that meeting? It is what the project acceptance review, final metrics review, acknowledgement the contribution of team members, sharing the key lessons learned, and discussing the related project for the future. Now, if say the one of the organization they have carried out the project expansion of the plant, and they have a one meeting that in that one they are discussing about the key lessons learned from it. What are the key factors while completion of the project? Okay, during the execution plan, what are the key lessons that they are learned? Then the related discussing about the related project of for the futures. Does the same project can we work out in a future one? They are looking about it. Okay. They give the acknowledgement to the each and every the team members, those who are contributed in that the project, and the appreciation and all. That is what we in the project sign off meeting. Just like you get a send off in the from the college. Okay. Another thing, finalizing project documents. In that one, we are collecting the timesheet, expenses report, and the team status report. In the closing or completing the remaining tasks in the project schedule that we have to look out, collecting the final cost and the schedule metrics, and making final payment to the vendors and contractors, and closing out the contracts. So during the closing of it one, the what are the finalizing documents that they are. One is the making the final payment to the obviously to the vendor and contractor. Then only the contract get closed. One thing, the collecting the final cost and schedule of the metrics. So you have to take look about what is the final cost of the project and what is the schedule and the time required to complete it completion of that project. Okay. So these are the certain documents, these related documents that we need to take out from the contractor or the manager from for the before finalizing the or to close out the project. Okay, reviewing the updating the issue log, highlighting the remaining issues, deciding how these issues are addressed, preparing the plan for the handling the ongoing product support, documenting what you have learned, survey team members about what worked and what didn't. So these are the certain related documents that obviously this will be helpful for a future project. Okay, again, there is as a point recall a meeting with your sponsor, executive stakeholders, ask the consultant and vendors for objective feedback. Okay, the feedback is obviously it is essential, and the both about your organization and about the project execution. So these are the discussions and the points that comes in terms of the documents, and definitely these documents which we are generated in the closeout part, it will be the again helpful for to handling the plan, and it is again helpful for a same plan if you want to establish somewhere else and to have a future project, then it will be the helpful. Okay. Now in the project closeout point, there is one point that is there. It is setting up a library. Now what is that library? Library means we know that it is a number of books. So in the industry what it is, so it is just storing all the key documents in the project. So whatever we just like we have a manual in our laboratory, and that manual it will give not only the procedure but how to handle the equipment and what are the necessary things that we have to take during the handling of the equipment. Same thing is here. We have to build up this library, and in that one, what the documents that we have to keep, it is storing all the key documents in the project. Project planning documents to be the again in the library, status report, design document, test cases and test result, issues and resolutions, risk documentation. These are the certain documents are kept in the library so that during the project, if anything is happened, then they have that documents is available in the manual. They act accordingly, or if they want to do a project in the future, that time also they have this type of the documents if it is available. So one is project planning documents, issues and resolutions, or the risk documentation. So this is very helpful for them in a future project. The changes request, presentation, important communication both between the owner, customers, sorry, owner and the contractor, time and expense reports, and contracts and invoices. All, so contract and invoice is very important. Okay, because this is the documents. So as per the specification, whether it is given or not, we are in the commissioning part. We will we done that part. But yes, the invoices is very important for that particular the equipment. If the guarantee and warranty plan, okay, we kept the bill with us because there is given some warranty and guarantee for it. So this is very important that we have to keep all these documents in the library. So this is all about the project closeout and all. So I just highlight the things what we learn in this the particular chapter, and that is I would like to again go through the same tab. Okay, fine. So in short, what we learn in this the project management one and are the basically the project definition, management definition, and the most important part that we learn in this one, the project life cycle. Okay, so it's very important to know what is meant by project life cycle. So it is, we divided this project life cycle, definition phase, planning phase, execution and delivery. And in today's lecture we talk about delivery, means the project closeout. Fine. So we look about the what are the tools and techniques are used in the project management in details. uh, then we will see about the what is the difference between the we seen about the project management and what is the formal management. And in detail we look about the responsibilities and the skills of the project manager. What are the characteristics required in a project manager, what is the skill required, and what are the responsibility not only the manager but also other part too. What do you mean by project overruns? We look about project overruns of it. Okay, we learn the project strategy. What are the project strategies that is in the project management one, and obviously the case studies are related to the tutorial part, and we had seen that the case studies. I think the one or two tutorials that we have taken on the case studies, and you see you might be learn in detail about it. Okay, so here I would like to close the things from the module number one, and in the next lecture we will look about the second module, and in that one we see in detail about the what is the feasibility report. Okay, this is again very important topic from the project management, and in detail we will look about that the feasibility report. Okay, and other parts too that we will learn in the module number 2. In that one I think again the one topic which is very good, it is WBS, that is work breakdown structure. Okay, and the project organization, how what are the project organization, functional one, then the pure project organization or the matrix project organization. All this we will see in the next module. So this is from my side.